Blog Talk Radio. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard. Hi everyone, it's Natalie Jean, Natalie Jean Nat. We're on Chatting with Nat, and today, my guest, I have alternative pop singer-songwriter Katie Ferrara. Katie Ferrara is an award-winning alternative pop singer-songwriter from Los Angeles who writes honest and authentic music with an ethereal flair. As Buzz Music puts it, she's got a tender approach to life that bursts from her guitar and vocal cords in a way that's both charming and reassuring. She began her career as a busker on the streets of Burbank, California, and from there has toured internationally at Noble Street festivals, including the Edinburgh Fringe in Scotland, Ferrara Buskers Festival in Italy, Chur Buskers Festival in Switzerland, and Buskers Braunschweig in Germany. She has even performed in New Zealand as part of Toyota's Feeling the Street program and written a book about her travel experience called Stories from the Street. Recently, she won an online global singing competition called Musicash, thanks to the help of her dedicated fans. Her music is on the season 5 premiere of the Hallmark TV show Good Witch, and her latest albums Dreamcatcher 2016 and Break Free 2020 can be found on all streaming services. She is currently in the process of releasing her second full-length album. So let us listen and talk to pop singer-songwriter Katie Ferrara. Here we go. I'm going to applause. Yay! Hi, Katie.
Hey.
How are you?
Hi, Natalie. Thanks for having me on your show. I'm good.
Oh, thanks. I'm great. The honor is all mine. So let's get started here. How did you get your start in music?
Well, I started, like my bio, I was busking a lot in 2015.
Okay.
I was on the Santa Monica Promenade and in Burbank, and I had won this competition from Toyota called Feeling the Street, and that kind of kick-started my singing career. I mean, I've always been like playing music before that. My original like inspiration, I would say, my mom played music a lot when I was growing up, so I was very much like surrounded by guitars and pianos and things like that around the house, and I joined choir when I was in high school. So that's kind of where I got like my elementary education, and when I got to college, I wanted to keep learning how to play. I picked up the guitar and was teaching myself with like YouTube videos and just trying to learn from CDs and stuff. And I was studying like psychology at the time, so I didn't actually study music. And I think for me, I would say my education in music has just been mostly experience, just playing out and just putting myself out there. I guess I could have had a chance to study it at school, but I don't know. I kind of felt like, well, how am I going to make money off of this,
Amen.
And I think, yeah, well, you probably agree too, because, you're an artist yourself, so probably know what that's like, where you have this passion, but you're like, oh, how do I apply it to real life,
Right.
So, yeah, I think for me, I would say, my career started in 2015, just busking and putting myself out there and playing in front of people, because that's when I started earning money, and then, people tipping me, that I was able to like buy equipment and, start like playing in restaurants and hotels and really starting to expand and get better at what I was doing.
That's awesome. So how would you describe your music?
I would say that it's adult alternative or folk pop. It's it's very positive. You know, a lot of my songs, a lot of people say that they're uplifting. I think emotional, kind of quirky, charming. Yeah, all within that range.
Okay. What would you say makes your music unique?
I mean, my single, my next single that I have coming, or it's already out, it's called On Her Path. It talks about, you know, the struggles that women go through all over the world, having access to water. Like, I feel like with my music, like, I want to make people feel good. I want to empower people in some way. And that song, that brings awareness to, you know, we have an issue around on the globe that, like, not everybody has access to water. And I felt like, well, through my music, I want to help people. So I think that's probably one thing that makes my music unique. And also that I don't like to follow trends, you know, like, right. In some ways that's good, but in other ways it's like, I don't know. I mean, it is good, but it's not good, but I just have to be myself. And I think that a lot of people, they resonate with the music that I put out because, you know, it's I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. That's what I'm trying to say.
I get that. It's interesting because I've been to a lot of music conferences and webinars and stuff like that. And when they have a panel and they're listening to music, they always say, well, if you're writing for Rihanna, we don't want to hear what she's already done. We want to hear something she hasn't done. But I find that because is that what you hear on the radio is basically the same thing over and over. So I don't get that concept. I like the uniqueness. I like the fact that you're unique and you want to do something different. I'm the same way. You know, my latest album, Where Do We Go From Here, is a social impact message album. And I rebranded myself. I want to do more music that makes a difference. I want to be an effective player in life. I want my music to touch people. I want them, you know, to think. I mean, they might not change their mind on a couple of things, but they might think. They might put themselves in other people's shoes. So I get you 100%. You know, I think we have a lot of work to do when it comes to out there because there's, you know, it's all about money. It's all about popularity and stuff like that. But, I mean, if you're a true music lover, I think people need to start, you know, fighting against the radio and media because I think they are the ones that stop people from enjoying people like you. I'm sure you have a great audience, but you could have more of an audience if they didn't play the same song 500 times on the radio. Like, I used to love Lizzo. I can't listen to Lizzo anymore. Every time her song comes on, I turn it off or I switch it to another station. But yeah, we gotta keep fighting. So, why is the global water crisis important, and why is it a woman's issue?
Well, it's important because not everybody has access to water, and it's a women's issue because women in a lot of these countries, you know, in India and South America and in Africa, like a lot of the women, they're doing most of the work traveling to get the water, while men in the societies, they're, you know, boys are going to work or they're going to school, and so, you know, the girls and the women that are helping to retrieve the water for their families, they're not able to have the same opportunities as the guys, the boys, and the men. And so by having clean sanitation, having ways where people can have access to water, it's really about saving time. And when you have more time, you can invest in your well-being. And, you know, that would enable, you know, girls to go to school and have the same opportunities as the boys. You know, I think it's, for me, like, I learned about global water crisis through water.org. They are the organization that, they're so kind, they gave me some footage to work with to make a music video. And awesome. I was just on their website. I was looking at photos, and I was just inspired by, like, everything that I saw, you know, women carrying these jerry cans on their backs, and they're traveling like 10 miles a day, you know, just kids like playing with water. And it just made me think, like, man, with everything going on, you know, there's just, I feel like I need to do something, and I feel like that a lot of the time when I write music, I see something, or there's maybe I'm reading something, or somebody tells me a story, and I get really influenced by that. And a lot of the time when I was writing songs before, like, my primary inspiration would come from my own relationships with people, and I think now, like, especially with the pandemic, like, I think that people are expanding their consciousness, and they're kind of realizing, like, oh my God, there's other people out there. You know? We have to work at this together. So, you know, I really wanted to highlight that, you know, this is something that we can all solve together as a planet. You know, the fundamental right for all of us should be clean water, a place to live, you know, all the comforts that we need. We live in the age of prosperity, but why is it that some people have more than others? You know, it's time we even that out. I'm all about equality, you know.
No, I hear you, and I agree with you 100%. You know, water is very important to our daily lives, and the people that don't have it, it's really sad, and we need to do more about that. How has the pandemic influenced you as an artist and the entire music industry?
I think for me as an artist, well, when the pandemic hit, it's been a year anniversary of, you know, wearing masks and you know, quarantining. It hit me hard. I lost all my gigs. I was playing music for a living, and I lost like every gig that I had booked that year, and so I kind of had to find a way to really reboot myself as an artist, change like how I do music. And you know, for myself and a lot of friends, you know, we took a break from playing, and I went inward. I was kind of like, okay, I want to work on my health, my physical health, and I really wanted to write and be creative. Spent the time writing. I got a day job in the meantime, and I've been working in a school, and just working on my next album, putting that out. I feel like there's like this shame, like as a musician, like, oh, well, if you want to do music, like, you have to drop everything and you have to, you know, make a lot of sacrifices just for your music. And that's like the indie artist, like, dream. And it kind of just made me think, like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's all crap. Like, excuse me on the radio. I'm not gonna like cuss on the radio, but it's kind of like,
I understand. It's poop. I know. I understand. I mean, you know, you shouldn't have to give up everything. I mean, you have a passion, and that's fine. But you also have a life, and you need to live. You need to eat. You need to have a roof over your head. I mean, you need clothes on your back. So it's okay to have a job. I have a job. I have too many of them, actually, at this moment right now. But the job actually helps me in my music career. So, you know, you have to do what you have to do. Now, were you able to get any of the COVID relief funds?
Yeah, I actually did. So the Grammy Foundation, they were really generous. They helped me out. That was like in April last year.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of the relief funds I applied for. Yeah, because I was playing. I had so many gigs, so I could qualify for that. So that was nice. Yeah, I'm really thankful to them. If you guys are listening, you should check out the Grammy Foundation, and you can make a donation if you would like. It helps support indie artists and people like myself and Natalie.
No, the Grammy Foundation does. They do a lot, especially during the this whole crisis. It's been crazy. For myself, I had a couple gigs lined up, but I did still have my day job that moved to teleworking. But what it allowed me to do, like you said, you went inward. It allowed me to do to think about my career, my life, music, and it allowed me to actually get online and do all these webinars and conferences on music and listen and learn more about how to promote the brand, my brand, and stuff like that, and the different platforms that we have to be on, which is nuts. That's another question. How do you manage I always like to ask this question because social media platforms is just, it's a lot of work. So how do you manage all of your social media platforms?
Oh man, yeah, that's a great question. Well, yeah, because there's Twitch and there's TikTok now, and I used to use what was that?
I said, woof.
Yeah, I used to use Periscope a lot, and now that's shutting down. They're going directly to Twitter. But
Are you serious?
yeah, I think you just have. Yeah, they're shutting down at the end of March. So
Oh,
like it sucks though, because I have built like a whole bunch of followers on that platform. I have like 12,000 followers on there, and it's like,
why
bye.
why are they going to Twitter?
I don't know. They just sent out a message to everyone, and I think again it's the pandemic. Maybe they couldn't sustain themselves, or they weren't getting the audience that they needed. I really liked Periscope because of the reach. You know, I was getting people from Italy and from South America and like Russia, like they all tune in, and it was so cool to get people all over the world. Now I think with the rise of live streaming, I mean, Facebook has that ability, Twitch especially. I'm not really a big fan of Twitch. I know a lot of people like it. I tried it last year, but it's so like gear intensive. Like you have to have like the right computer and the right setup, and then have all these bots and commands and things to do. And it's at the end a tool. Like you have to think as an artist, like there's all these social media platforms out there, but you can kind of lose your message or like lose momentum if you're trying to be on everything. So I would just focus on the ones where you are in contact with people and you communicate the most. And I always tell everyone, like, join my mailing list because, you know, these are just trends. Like, I feel like TikTok will probably stick around, but, you know, with Instagram too, like, I debate whether or not, like, it's going to last much longer. A lot of people are moving to TikTok because it's more popular. But then, you know, I still have my fan base on Instagram that I can't ignore. I just think the email list is the most important for the indie artists because that way you never lose touch with people, and that's part of your website. You know, and then if you're doing live streaming, whatever platform you're on, you should be doing it because that's what people are tuning into. You know, I'll like to do it once a week. I'll announce on my Facebook, you know, when I'm doing a live stream. If you're gigging, streaming your gig is really helpful because that way, like, it's just already a part of, you know, your weekly lifestyle. You know, I say, like, yes, there's all these social media platforms out there, but pick maybe a couple that you want to focus on, and then just maybe you can work on the other ones when you have more time because your time is valuable, like we were talking about.
Yeah, I am. So I wasn't doing live streaming until I got together with B Squared Management, and they're like, "Oh, you should do this," and I'm like, "Okay," you know, and it's and it's fine. You know, sometimes I'm just singing to myself. Sometimes there are a lot of people. Sometimes there are a few people, but you know, it keeps the music alive. So I'm appreciative of the live streaming. I've done it on Instagram Live, and I've done it on Facebook, and now I use so for the Sisters of Music thing, I use StreamYard, which I love a lot because we just sit down and shoot the breeze on that one, and we don't have to perform. So yeah, and then there's the other thing is Buffer. Now Buffer, you can schedule your whole posting, but my problem with that is that, you know, I always post inspirational quotes in the morning, and I always change my mind about what I want to post, so that actually doesn't work because I'm just like that. I'm like, no, that's not, and especially if somebody's gotten on my nerves, I know there's something I have to post, something different. So yeah, it is so much work. So we're about to play your song On Her Path. Tell us about what that's about.
So yeah, that's the song that I just put out, the single, and it's about water.org, about the global water crisis, and just I wrote it because I want to raise awareness of the fact that not everyone has access to water.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to have a word from our sponsor, so hold 1 second.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Grisana, also known as a sax diva. I'm so excited to share with you some new releases. Sunrise, a song I co-wrote with John DePatti for the new children's film Superpowers, Kim Cameron director, has just been released, so check it out. In addition, I have a new EDM version of my original jazz song, Simply Sunday, coming out this summer. So to sign up for news, go to saxdiva.com, SAXDIVA, and check out my songs on Pandora, Spotify, and Apple Music. Stay tuned and take care.
We all come from somewhere, journeys big and small, walking 10 miles a day for water in a way at all, hauling on dusty roads, jerry cans, a mother of four, clean water, sanitation, she asks for a little more. Roads of terror, skies of pharaohs, gods of fortune, hymns of hope. On her path she's come so far, on her path just a little bit more. On her path, baby, let's do start. On her path, let's do our part, let's do our Liliana, almost 2 billion in all. What we take for granted is our daily war. We can win this fight with love and action. This is my sister's core. Acts of faith, gods of angels, gods of fortune, hymns of hope. On her path she's come so far, on her path just a little bit more. On her path, baby, let's do start. On her path, let's do our part, let's do our En su camino, no camino de la when you say Faria, she's come so far, 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 she's come so far,
Yay, that was great. You have a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Who are your main musical influences?
Oh man, I like a lot of different stuff. I really like stuff like the Beatles or Ed Sheeran, Casey Musgraves. I like Sade a lot. I like Joni Mitchell, Norah Jones, all those different artists.
Yeah, I got a lot of Joni Mitchell out of that song. Because you say you're an alternative pop artist, but you could be considered as folk also, which is not bad because I love folk music. I love that. So, what are some obstacles you've faced as a female artist, and how have you overcome them?
Man, I would say, well, being a female, I think for me, it's like, how do you know if someone likes your music because they like the music, or they like you because of the way you look? And
Right.
I don't know, I guess I kind of wanted to like ask you that, because I mean, you're a woman as well, you know.
Yes, I am.
How do you know, like, if someone's in love with like your image, or if, like, I feel like for guys it's so much easier. I mean, it can also work backwards too, because, you know, they'll get fans and they'll know that someone likes their music because they like it. But I think it can be an unfair advantage for us women, but also a disadvantage as well, because it's like, how do you know? How do you know if somebody likes what you're putting out there? I mean, with Instagram, to get people's attention, it's like, oh, I got to post selfies of me. I got to post a picture of myself. Like, and I don't know. I don't want to always post a sexy photo of myself. I mean, it's nice, but then I'm just getting someone's attention, and then the message gets lost. And I think it's a difficult balance as a woman, because on one hand, it's like, yes, as an artist, like, people are going to judge you based on how you look.
Right.
But I also feel like you can't care what people think either, because in order to speak your truth, like, you can't. Not everyone's gonna like you, and that's something I've had to learn over the years. You know, like, you put something out, and you have to have a specific niche when you put stuff out, and, you know, there's probably, it's good if people don't like you. I think that's good.
I mean, yeah, no, you know what? You have a good point there, because in the United States, I guess, and it's a worldwide thing, is like, the more controversy you have, the more people will notice you, which I think is very sad. And it's okay if people don't like you. Music, the whole industry is subjective. People don't have to like you. The thing is, there is music for everybody, and some will love you and some won't. And that's one tip that I try to tell people. You know, when people get upset, or their music wasn't chosen, or they weren't awarded, or they didn't get nominated, they have to think that the person that's doing the judging, it wasn't right for them. It doesn't mean that your music's not right for other people. Because I submitted my songs in one contest and won, and didn't win in the other. Again, it's all subjective. And I agree with you. As women, when we have to promo, you know, it's all about, you know, sharing the pictures and all. I don't do that many selfies because I can't stand. I post a lot of other things, and here and there I'll throw in a picture. But yeah, as women, yeah, sometimes it is hard to see if the person, specifically, or less men or women that like women, that whether they're liking you for your music or not. Because there's a lot of people, especially on Facebook, I always get a lot of messenger stuff from guys, and I'm like, I'm not here for that. Because the next thing is like, oh, I like your music. Are you single? No. See, I'm not. Yeah, they do it all the time, and I used to tell them, I'm not here for that. I'm focused on my music and doing some other stuff, but that's not what I'm here for. So I get what you're saying with women in music and all the challenges that we have to face. I mean, the other thing is, I was talking to Justine Blazer, and she was telling me how, you know, there weren't that many female music producers out there for a long time. She went to a convention or some webinar conference, and she was the only one. So we have to continuously fight to be seen and heard, but we also want to do it on you know, some kind of positive level. And then, you know, the whole, if we speak our truth, then they'll label us some way, but I don't really care. I'm not a person that really cares what people think, you know, and that's how I was able to do music. I had to not care what people think, because, you know, at first I was like, oh my gosh, because I was very shy. I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to go on the stage and perform in front of people. And how I let that go, I said, you know what? My intention should be good enough. I'm going to sing my best. People are going to like it. And that's all. That's all I can do. You know, you can't. And the thing is, you can't please everyone. You can, but as long as you put love into anything and everything that you do, I think you can be so successful.
I love that. I love how you think that way because yeah, you got to have the intention there. I like that you said that and you put all your energy into that. I mean, that's what matters in the end. And I think people pick up on that when you're singing. They can pick up on someone who's just singing the lyrics or somebody who's like, they've got that behind it, you know, that emotion, that passion, that like reason why they're up on that stage.
Exactly. It's like, you know, that's why Nikki, Chris, and I created the whole Sisters in Music thing, is because we wanted to show how we want to help women specifically and the men that support us to empower music and the music and entertainment and performing arts. And it's really important that here's another facet of the music industry or entertainment or performing arts that's crazy when it comes to women. You know, women seem to always be in competition with each other, or they don't want to support somebody else's success because they're mad, they're jealous, they're this, they're that. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We should be here to support one another wherever we are in our career. I'm always supporting people. I'm always the first person to congratulate somebody on Facebook. Hey, I'm so
that's awesome. Yeah.
You know what? When they're successful, you're successful. And I just don't do it for that, but I like to see people happy. I mean, don't you like seeing people?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think it's important that we all bring each other up. I mean, that's the only way that you are successful is if you're bringing other people along with you.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
But you mentioned something about
yes.
I was going to say something about the female producers. So I recently joined TikTok, and I've actually discovered a lot of female producers there, and it's pretty cool because, you know, you follow people and it's like you're their friend, or you can interact with them like one-to-one. A lot of you know, these producers, they'll give like tips on how to produce them yourself. And so I follow a few people on there. I can't think of anyone at the top of my head, but TikTok is a really great place if you're like, I really want to find a female producer. Like, go there, because that's a great way to showcase your talent.
All right. So see, that's a good tip. I'm going to do that. Now we're going to play your song, Weightless. Tell me what Weightless is about.
Weightless is just about that feeling like you can do anything, nothing is holding you back. It's about just a feeling of pure love.
All righty. Well, we're going to play it now. Hold on. We'll have a word from our sponsor.
Hi, this is Nikki Chris, and I host a podcast called Mixin' It. Mixin' It focuses on women in the music, entertainment, and the performing arts. Our goal is to provide an avenue for industry veterans and up-and-coming artists, musicians, engineers, and producers to showcase their talent. Listen to Mixin' It on Monday Music Madness at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Sim Radio Network.
What if we could get rid of all in our lives that weighs down on us? If I could let go of everything, what would I really need? I have the feeling I'm weightless. I lift my feet off the ground, weightless. Can't bring me down, bring me down, bring me down. I'm weightless. Oh, I have the feeling I am weightless. I'm flying in the sky, weightless. Take me higher, take me higher, take me higher. Higher, take me higher.
Awesome. That was very beautiful. You definitely have a beautiful voice. I am a new fan. I love it. I love it. How did you feel the first time you actually heard your voice, like a song of yours on radio or in a TV show? How did you feel?
Oh man, I think just really bubbly and like kind of surreal because I don't know. It's weird when you go from that idea in your head to okay, voice memo to studio to arranging everything, production, and then you're like, oh, and then you hear it back like through the wires, and you're like, oh my God, this is real. I made that.
No,
kind of surreal, I would say.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Where is the craziest place that you've thought of a song or created a song?
Oh, that's a good question. Craziest place. Under a waterfall?
Hey, I haven't heard that one. I haven't heard that one before. Well, see, here's the interesting thing. It deals with water, and I always tell people I can come up with some amazing tunes in the shower, and then get out and forget them. And totally, that's why I keep telling everybody I'm going to create a gadget that's waterproof that you can record your song in the shower.
That's a brilliant idea. That should be like part of a songwriting camp or something. Like you just get everyone to go in the shower. It's like, okay, you have 1 minute to write down everything that comes to mind in the shower.
I like to see you came up with a good idea. Obviously, if we're all getting in the shower together, we gotta have bikinis on or bathing suits or something. That'll be a totally different writing song. I'll naked in the shower, or that could be the song. I'll be naked in the shower. But that would be an interesting concept altogether. I love that. See, I love you because you speak your truth. So, God, this whole pandemic has been crazy. So, what is the first thing you're going to do when the pandemic is over?
I want to go to the beach. I know it sounds like maybe it's not boring, but I really want to go to the beach and just soak up the sun and take off my mask and just like run around and like go in the ocean and be silly.
I love that. I mean, that's muy importante. I love it. So if you could tell your younger self, give your younger self some advice, what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self, don't worry, it's going to work out, and keep being strong and keep being yourself.
I like that because it's very, very important to love yourself in all aspects of anything that you do, because whatever you put out is the energy that's within you, and that's what's going to come back to people. And I always try to explain that to people. It's like, people are always worrying about the songs they put out. I don't put out anything I don't love. I don't. And I actually can listen to my own songs for hours. And if you can do that, yes, I can. I have my own little playlist of Natalie. And I played one of my songs for an hour straight because I love this song so much. I was like, and I'll talk to myself and say, you go, girl. That was great. You have to give yourself encouragement.
That's good advice. You gotta love your music.
You gotta love your own music. Don't put it out. And you know what? Again, music is subjective. Who cares what anybody else thinks? Obviously, if you're trying to get it into a film, documentary, television show, whatever, you're going to care about what they think because you really want it in there. But at the end of the day, whatever you put out, you must love first.
Yes, I need to hear that. Yeah.
The intention has to be.
I agree 100%. Yeah. Well, no, I feel like there's so much pressure as indie artists too. It's like, oh, you're not successful unless you're like you've got your music in a film or a TV show. Or it's like, no, the song came from you. Like that song is valuable because you wrote it.
Amen. Amen. So, what is next for you? What's coming up next for you?
I want to release some more music this year. I'm finishing up my second full-length album. It's going to be called Inside Out. So I'm doing like a photo shoot and got to master the tracks. But I'll probably drop another single off of that album this year and do a pre-order so people can stay tuned for that.
Awesome sauce. Now tell everybody where they can find you on the internet.
You can find me at www.katieferrara.com. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Katie Ferrara Music, on Twitter, on YouTube. If you just type my name in, Katie Ferrara, TikTok and Twitch, and on all streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, and everything that you use to listen to music.
That is so awesome. You know, when people ask me that, I always have to like, where am I? What am I on? I'm on so, and then I just say, I'm just like, just Google me.
Just Google, yeah.
Just Google me, because Instagram alone, I have 3 accounts, and I have 2 websites now, or I actually have 3. And it's just crazy how we, as musicians, especially independent artists, have to do so much work, especially if you're doing everything yourself. I mean, even you can management people, you can have a publicist, you're still doing certain aspects yourself because you want that personal touch. You want your fans to know, you're a real person and you care. So it's a lot of work. My head's gonna spin off soon. I'm gonna become the exorcist. So thank you, Katie, for being on Chatting with Nat today. I am honored to have you. I'm going to be following you. You have an awesome, beautiful voice. You are empowered. You speak your truth. And I love that about you. It's important for us to all be able to speak our truth. And I hope you have an amazing day.
Oh, you too. Thank you so much, Natalie.
All right. Until next time, Sean Chatting with Nat. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard.